From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need 365 days a year. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Good morning! Welcome to the weekly episode of the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. This is out today on a Monday, the same day that people need the motivation, unless of course you're off today. It's funny how we don't need motivation to get ourselves out of our pit, is it? Anyways, my name is Chris Jaggs, host, director, CEO of the show, and creator of the Learn, Develop, Live method. Help you identify an issue or a problem, developing a habit to eliminate that problem before living your life on a higher level. Now, how amazing would that be, right? This week, I want to give some of the students out there a little bit of motivation. This should have probably gone out last week, but as my pre-teen Casey started secondary school this week, well, the week before this was published, but I thought I'd still put it out there. Why not? So before we get down to it, I have a review on Apple Podcasts to share with you. And this is from Doug Smith over in the good old US of A, who said, "Love it! 5 stars. I really love this show, and I feel that even after one episode, I'm already hooked. It's short, precise, to the point, and most importantly, effective." Doug, thanks for the love, always appreciated. If you would like to leave a review, I'd like to try something a little bit different with the approach. If you would like to leave 5 stars, thank you. That would be great. And with a review. Or, and this is a little bit different, if you'd like to leave your favourite quote as the review, then that'd be good too. Just something a little bit different and a little bit of an interesting twist. So please feel free. It doesn't take long to drop a review, and you can give me your favourite words of wisdom. And every review always gets a mention on a future show. I thank you. Now let's have a quick drop and let's get going.
This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast with Chris Jaggs. He ain't no DJ, but he'll help remix your life.
And we are back in the room. So, as I said before, with my not so little girl anymore, just starting secondary school, I thought it'd be nice to give some focus for all the students out there. The ones just starting out at brand new school, those who are already at school but maybe need a fresh outlook, or maybe an older student who just needs a little bit of encouragement. If you are any of those, it's perfectly natural to sometimes drop a little bit, especially when you're trying to push yourself so hard every day. You are human after all. You are human, aren't you? I just want to check. So, robots, cyborgs, artificial intelligence aside, we all need a little bit of a boost every so often. Oh, right, before you listen to this, there is an amazing TED Talk by Ken Robinson called Are Schools Killing Creativity? Now, I featured this in the Motivational Moment that came out on the 27th of August, I think. So just a few weeks ago. And it was in memory of Ken Robinson, who sadly passed away several days before that. Now, this talk, as I said in the Motivational Moment, has been seen over 60 million times online. And it should be seen at least once by every person involved in education. It's a real eye-opener and has a true story towards the end of the talk to back it all up. I'll put a link in the show notes for the episode if you haven't heard it. Right. Let's get back to it. We all know our student life is looked at as the most important part of our life. What we do in the future and what our visions are like depends on our student's life. If we do not study at the time, our future may be bad. And that's not to say it's a disaster. Some of the most successful people out there came away from their studies with nothing, but went on to be hugely successful. And this is because it was, it just wasn't for them. It is important for us to study well to push yourself, but another problem is that we lose confidence when we study. Many students cannot give their full attention to their studies, and many are unable to study due to outside issues. Maybe lack of money in the household, illness, family. Maybe you have a disruptive environment to study in. Everyone has problems, and because of them, your attention can go out the window. Alongside your studies, there may be other things going on around you. Maybe you've got a weekend job in order to earn a living. Maybe you work full-time and then your own time you can study is actually in the evening after you've done the normal routine. Kids in bed, baths, etc., etc. To help anyone studying, you can read all the motivational quotes in the world and listen to all the inspirational stories, but to make this study and business work for you, what you really need is motivators. The motivation creates a belief in your mind. The reason for this belief is to have a bit of confidence in yourself and just to show that you're ready for everything. With that, we have a lot of courage. And as a student, you can acquire all the qualities you need. We have to understand the changes that may come to our lives as a result of motivation and what important effects they can have on our lives. Unfortunately, during your time in education, it's very likely that you have drilled into you that failure is a bad thing. But in reality, as said many times before, failing at something is the exact way you learn. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times trying to create the light bulb. But he didn't see each time as a failure, but instead 10,000 ways it just didn't work. But he got there in the end, didn't he? One of the biggest new skills you can pick up, which will not only help you in school studying, but also in the big wide world, is time management. By simply learning the art of time management, you'll be able to work out just how long a job will take, roughly, be on time for classes, or meet people and allow yourself enough time to get everything done without having to stress yourself out, when the time's ticking down. Those deadlines, tick tock. And everyone loves a deadline. Some people live by them, leave everything to the last minute, and that deadline is exactly when it's going to get done. So what about people who don't want to study? Even if you do not study, you can still live your life. You can still make money, but your education, the one that really interests you, you'll come out later. Maybe you'll take evening classes or an online course in your spare time, alongside that day job that we spoke about. But the difference will be if you look for that sort of education to better yourself, or just spend every day on the sofa eating sweets whilst watching daytime TV. Netflix, anyone? Students of any time and walk of life must study. However you see this taking shape, but sit and do nothing, then nothing will happen. Every day is learning, and whilst you can reach the dizzy heights of success, it is true you could lose it all. But lose it all, and you still have the knowledge, you still have the experience you gained from your previous success and what you learnt from the possible failure. Now it's true that there are some students who only work for the exams. That's the only thing they want to do in school. But for some reason, they don't want good results, but just to pass in some way. And in a way, I kind of understand that. I had the same with my coaching qualification. 50% pass rate, and once you spend all day at work, followed by evening after evening of working through the course, you really are just happy just to scrape by, as long as you pass after all the work you put in. For those other students who are happy just to scrape through, they don't actually want good results. Just to pass in some way, as education to them is a bit of a burden. The mindset of, I'll do it tomorrow. That will set in, and then Netflix might come on. It's just another opportunity wasted to revise and learn. Every student should look to see if they can set a life goal. But to be honest, in reality, most people won't actually hit the life goal. And then some of the most intelligent middle-aged people I know still don't know what they want to do with their lives. If you do have a goal or you've got a target, this is something for you to aim towards, and I hope you're able to hit it. The direction may change on the journey, but keep aiming to the top. Positive attitude and loving yourself is one of the biggest qualities anyone can have. If you don't like yourself, then how is anyone else going to like you? Good question, right? But have a think about it. Without education, and I'm not just talking about school, but also in later life, a lot of things are possible with learning. Maybe you won't do well in school because school just isn't for you, but that won't be the end of it. But focusing on your education while you're at school will help give you a foundation and a springboard that will get you ready to take on the world. You'll get a lot of satisfaction in what you chase. You'll earn money if that's what your aim is, and you'll definitely grow as a person. How success looks to you will be very different for everyone, but once you find it, you'll know. Now that is it from me this week. Keep yourself focused on whatever you're chasing and you'll make it happen. Also, I still want to work with you. If you want to book yourself on a slot, my calendar is at ldlcall.com. Please do. You give yourself 30 minutes one-to-one and we can discuss how you can take over the world. That's it from me. Stay safe, people, and I will see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. 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 Motivation.